the system brick by brick, so suffer the consequences, and maybe another time you will learn. But unfortunately, like you started with, the quality of NRM people are not the kind who learn anyway. So 5 years down the road, we'll be back to this. Hopefully by then, the president will be dead, and then we can move on. Because before he dies, I don't think the country can even move on to anything else.
Here, Lugeda Michael said, and Namfi starts from where she left.
That they are buying at this point. What are you promising them? But we are at the point where people even make statements of non agenda. And this explains why you see most ministers have lost. Like Olideko, katika tufuno mulalalie, or while you are eating, you are not sharing with us. So now you go away and we put in someone else who will eat and share with us. And therein lies the criteria for choosing a leader in this country. And then you will wonder why, when they get there, they are self-serving, they are doing nothing to serve the people, they are not making any changes to people's lives, but they are coming back after 5 years, having appeared in their constituencies 3 times to ask for people's mandate to vote for them again. And people, so we've lost the plot completely. We are off the track. We are off. You know, when a train goes off the track and finds itself, I don't even know in one. And when you hear NRM MPs complaining, I won't mention names because they said this in private, about the astronomical sums that they have to spend to even get in power. I keep telling them, it's like you are in a bus, but you are responsible for selling brakes, and then you sell faulty brakes to the bus driver because you're making money and injaulo off those 40 brakes, and then you climb onto the bus. How foolish are you to think anything is going to be different? So when you see the messy system that there is, and then the very same people will come here. Ofonopono came here and again defended the election system in this country. Now he's on the other side. He's feeding it, and if he hadn't defended it, maybe by now we would have an improved situation where he can come in and sell to his constituents his mandate on the proper criteria of what democracy is. But now, because we have a sham democracy going, he's a victim, and he's warrior unto me, warrior unto all of us who don't have as much money. No. You built the system brick by brick, so suffer the consequences, and maybe another time you will learn. But unfortunately, like you started with, the quality of NRM people are not the kind who learn anyway. So 5 years down the road, we'll be back to this. Hopefully by then, the president will be dead, and then we can move on. Because before he dies, I don't think the country can even move on to anything else.
Here, Lugeda, Honorable Joe, most welcome to the Capital Gang, Malcolm. And I don't know if you know, the district governor is coming to my club on Monday.
Oh, is he?
Yes, so this is a good time to say you're a Rotarian.
Yes, I'm a
past president as well of Kampala North.
I'm a Rotarian at the Rotary Club of Chiwatule.
Yeah.
And very happy to be in Mwalimu's class this morning.
Fantastic.
A very good morning to our listeners, viewers.
Yeah. You know, Nebosemuju, the Rotary district governor, told me I must say on every show that I'm a Rotarian. So I have met that requirement.
Congratulations.
Lydia Wanyoto Mutende is in the studio with a large bag. Congratulations on your recent win.
Thank you.
When NRM person comes with a large bag, that's how I describe it.
Good morning to our listeners. I bring you greetings from Mbale.
Yes.
City.
And congratulations on that win.
Thank you. I got very big mandate.
Yeah.
I'm now the National Executive Committee member of the NRM NEC, and also the Member of Parliament, flag bearer for Mbale City for the next term. So I come back with victory to the gang and bring greetings, and to my gang colleagues, good morning. And I'm here. Thank you.
Indeed.
Oscar, you realize she has not spoken about the bag at all.
Is that an NRM bag?
Just come with my luggage from Mumbai. I've just arrived from Mumbai. And like Oscar keeps saying, I'm now beginning my new re-election to SEC. the Central Executive Committee, the mandate is up there.
Yeah,
Voting
let us-
will be on the 22nd of August.
Hold
so
on. I'm going to ask
I'm
you about
back.
that in a second. but this
The baggers,
flag bearer, Lydia. This time,
flag bearer and a member of the National Executive Committee.
How can we make it work in the general election?
What do you mean?
The last time you were flag bearer, there's a lady who came, and then
we will
this
see.
time we need
let's
to make sure.
The bridge, with your support, Oscar,
Yes.
you know that he has been there.
Yeah.
I'm going to win.
Okay. And then now let's go
look
to
where I'm going. I don't look
Okay.
where I'm coming from.
And
Where
now
I'm
it's
going is
SEC.
what matters.
Okay. And now it's SEC. What's
now
the process?
SEC is on the 22nd of August.
Okay.
The national conference is going to take place. I think the preparations are on. That's the work of the leadership at the Secretariat. But I was cleared and nominated to be
How many
a candidate
people must
for
vote
the
for you?
Central
Executive Committee. How many votes do you need to become from the delegates?
Now that is in my
400?
bag. My bag.
Oscar, ask me as a journalist.
My bag. That's in
Ask
my
me
bag.
That is what is in the
Ask me as a
bag.
journalist, I will help you.
That's
So would
what
you
is
help
in
me?
the
How many
bag.
votes does Lydia need?
NRM has a...
But let me just say who votes for me.
Yes.
Not the numbers.
Okay.
The five executives of every district, city or town who are women, the Women's League executives, plus the chairpersons of all the sub-counties in Uganda. So
Wow.
you can add.
That totals about how many?
About 5,000. That's
About-
nearly the size of the NRM Women's League
Yeah.
Council.
Women's League, yes.
So 5,000, you need just more than half.
That's a tough ask.
If you have two candidates.
Yeah.
But
No,
if
No,
there are many,
we were at 38. I was told we were
yeah.
38.
So if there are 38, Lydia needs just 2,000, provided the others share
Get
the rest.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she must
Yeah.
make sure that others get a few of those.
Let's keep fingers crossed for you. You know we are biased. We are Team Lydia Wanyoto.
Yeah.
So,
Team Lydia, oh yeah. Seki, oh
So
yeah.
I have a guest.
Women's League, oh yeah.
Thank you. I have a guest.
Bale City, oh yeah.
Thank you, Lydia. I have a guest. I also have another guest on the hour mark. And my guest today is Mr. Okure. I'm not so sure how to pronounce your first name because when I heard you speaking, I couldn't work out. Is it Dio? Deo? How do you pronounce the first name?
So the first name is Deo.
Deo.
And that is,
That one I can manage because even in Luganda it's Deo.
yeah, that's Latin for God.
That's Latin for God.
Correct.
I didn't know. Mr. Deo Okure, welcome to the Capital Gang for the first time.
And is my neighbor seated next to me.
Right. So most welcome to the gang. You're head of research and global partnerships, AirQO. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's ERCO.
AirCo.
Correct.
Right. What does AirCo do and what do you do?
So yeah, thanks for having me and good morning to the listeners. And yeah, it's an honor to be here today. So ERCO is a research initiative at hosted at Makerere University. That's the College of Computing and Information Sciences. So what ERCO does really is to support local capacity development on tackling air pollution. So how
Tackling air pollution.
air pollution, not just in Uganda, but in African cities. So we have an Africa focused mission
Yeah.
where we build data solutions to be able to quantify air quality data across African cities, and also look at developing some of the stakeholder engagement models to drive action and policy. So that's really
Yeah.
about what ERCO is about. And
So, I came to Kampala yesterday early morning, and I was, first time I've been to Kampala that early in the morning. I really felt for you, Malcolm, because I was in Kampala at about 6:15, and I could visibly see the air.
6:50, that's in the
AM.
morning?
Yes.
Right.
It was so visible. It was all really nasty looking, shocking. So we're going to discuss this topic after the politics. In the meantime, tell our listeners here, if they have a phone, how can they check on the air quality where they are?
So air quality is air pollution or air quality.
We will
really.
describe it a little bit. Just
Yes,
give us a
that's
tool
okay.
now on the phone. What we
Yeah,
can
so
do.
the tool is the ERCO app, so that's AIQR. and it's available on both Android and also iOS. So that should be able to give you.
Okay. My phone has this weather, the normal app that says weather. Would that work?
Yes and no. Depends
Yes and
on
no.
exactly. So because this has to be fed in by actual data on the ground.
Okay.
And what happens is that when you have the app, we have sensors, about 176 sensors deployed across Uganda, including Umbale city as well.
So, Dale, we are going to stop this one. I'm going to ask Malcolm to pass his phone to you.
No problem.
Because he's the youngest man in the studio now.
I think I have a colleague here. Sasha can also help
then
everyone else. So
load the air core.
When
Then
the
you
time
can
comes,
tell us.
we'll be talking with...
Malcolm has already loaded it.
Right.
So, so we by the hour mark, because we have Dr. Kirenda coming as well,
right,
we will know what the air quality is like at Capture Radio.
Right.
And I'm so pleased. Samuji is now engaged looking up air
No, I am not. You see, one time we had the Mzungu, an American. He was, I think, doing a PhD in journalism. So he came to do internship with us at Observe. And the first news story that he saw in Kampala was traffic jam. He thought that actually in Uganda that is the news. So air quality is Ruzungu Oscar. People are looking for what to eat. Now you are telling them air quality.
Well, I think let's wait for the 1 hour there.
People are looking for what to eat.
And you are telling them
looking at
air quality. So they will be shocked.
Okay.
It's important.
Yes.
But
At this
on
moment
the list of priority,
yes,
you can ask an average Ugandan to list their priority. I'm not sure it will even feature there.
So that's the opposition we have.
So
on the hour
looks
mark, we'll have a discussion.
We have work to do, and I hope he's going to be one of the champions in Kira municipality.
I hope so.
So let's go to the politics first. So you have to bear with the politics, and I hope you're a voter, Deo. Where do you vote from?
I'm actually a registered voter in Kira municipality.
So now we'll
can see the attitude has changed from Zemu to all of a sudden it has changed.
We have to have this difficult conversation.
I'm not a voter. I'm not a voter in Kira, but that's my home.
Born there.
My father was born there, so I have people there who vote. So this is a very important. So we go to NRM primaries. Lydia, once again, congratulations. Appeals and petitions are ongoing. Lydia, you're on microphone. So when the president says, Tanga Odoi, Dr. Tanga Odoi, you must not involve yourself in the appeals, why was it necessary to say it?
I don't know, you ask him, Jose.
You're his representative on the gang.
Oscar, listeners need to know that Lydia was once a commissioner. Was once a commissioner responsible, and they also went through hell. So we have the right person today, not just as a candidate in Mbale, but someone who has organized the NRM elections before.
I was the commissioner of the NRM Electoral Commission, and also in charge of Western Uganda, and also in charge of petitions and court matters.
So this is totally your territory.
It's not. We are not starting with this one. We've been there. The NRM elections.
Oh, sorry. Let me first tell there we have Star Cafe goodies. Enjoy coffee. There's samosa. Samuja hasn't been here for a while. That's why he came in the studio early. He has been at it working. So as the one general once said, you don't need to come with a chapati in your pocket. We are all safe here. Continue.
So I was saying that I did that work. I served the party in that capacity for 2 terms, about 12 years, but in charge of Western Uganda, but also in charge of petitions and court matters.
So this time round,
in the elections in the NRM family are extremely competitive, and like Semuju will tell you, there are some constituencies in Uganda. Once you win the party primaries, you are as good as in the next parliament. But in some areas, like where I come from, work has just started. Because as like you said, I've been a flag bearer and I just retained it, but this time maybe with a bigger mandate, which I hope I can use for the next level. So petitions are a given, because ours is a mass party, but also very competitive. I've known some constituencies that had 12 candidates what do you say?
In primaries?
Oh yeah, 8 candidates. A few could have had fewer candidates, but also very volatile. You know the examples, I don't have to tell you. They could be 2 or 3, but very, very competitive. And some of them, it's issues of, it's like a do or die, but also issues of ego, power show, you know. There are others that have a lot of camps. You know, some areas have a lot of camps. But some people went unopposed. So that's our party. There are areas that we had people that went unopposed. Are the petitions
this time around too many, or that's about the average?
That's about the average. Normally we have that. Actually, in my time, this time we had like 500 petitions. So this time I've seen 200 something.
Yeah.
But the problem, the problem is that this time they have no time, because the deadline is really before 22nd. They hardly have 3 weeks, and they have had like 2-3 weeks, and there are areas where if they are to repeat, it will require an extra human resource management, because where they are going to repeat must be neat and snap. But in an organized area, if they had followed the rules and regulations, this was supposed to be an election that shouldn't have had a lot of problems. One, we had a register where a registrar had to go in the village. It's a village meeting, so people are defined. They are defined according to the household. Say, okay, board distance. You're not moving many, so you know each other even on the village. So you walk to your village, there's a roll call done, then you line up. The women's seat was the first one, so by midday, should have had the women's election done. And by 1 or 2 o'clock, the women's results should have been out. And then the constituency, what you call for the rest of it, Akabona, you know. Although majority of them people say Akaba Saja, because there are few women who contest on the constituency. But this time around we had them. So we have work cut out for us. We hope that we'll resolve the issues of petitions. But there are people, even when they lost genuinely, they will come as independents. They won't have another chance, which is also their right. We also have people who still feel that there were issues in the primaries. They still have their one hand in the independent. So Parliament, we wait to see how many people. You might have a majority. If we do not work hard, we might end up with many more members of Parliament. Because even across the board, I've seen a lot of issues in the opposition. They also like to have a lot of independence. So Uganda might go back to individual merit if we do not manage the internal management of getting candidates who are on the flag. We might be very few who go to Parliament with flags. Majority might come up with independent. We end up with a Parliament that has gone back to the story of what did we call it? Individual merit. So that's where we are now. But I hope that the petitions will be handled, and that by 20th really, because we have a national conference beginning on the 22nd of August. You do not want to go to a national conference without resolve the questions about flag bearers. Because of flag bearers are members of NEC. And if you're a member of NEC, then you are the core member of the national conference. So I want people to come to the national conference as members of NEC when they're actually flag bearers. So somehow work must be done. People are going to ban their midnight lamp and make sure that we have flag bearers countrywide for members of Parliament, for LC5s. Because even now, we've already also had elections for LC5s. That one was on Thursday. So even them, they also have a lot of petitions out there. LC5s and mayors. So there are also petitions out there. And this has been elections during the rain season. I've had people saying, oh, you know, there was a lot of voter turnout. For the 17th, the voter turnout was huge, but we had also a lot of rainfall around the country. So some of the hindrances are weather, because we are running elections in open grounds, primary school grounds, where we normally meet on village meetings, village barazas. Those are the venues for the election. So I wish my party well. I hope that we can pull this off and have flag bearers for every constituency and run the national conference without a lot of grievances.
Malcolm, Lydia has spoken like a true lawyer. generalize things, but this time round,
I've been in it, so I have.
You've been in it. You have to be.
I don't know if you're asking me to betray my profession and not speak like her.
Betray your profession a little bit and not speak like her. There were some ridiculous things, we are told. Someone who had clearly lost was announced a winner, and some elections, as Lydia has attested, went late into the night. You know, matters of concern, and now there doesn't seem enough time to resolve all these things.
Yes, Oscar. I think every day that passes, we hear something novel about the NRM primaries and how things went wrong. I'm sure there are so many success stories. Lydia is one of them. I don't know if her opponents,
I've been at it, so.
Or opponents have among the 380 petitions that have been received.
I've not received
but
anything.
you haven't been served yet,
no.
and the 5 days have lapsed.
Yeah, I've not been served.
So,
I'm now busy with the SEC campaign.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But it's a landslide.
But I've interacted with quite a few people that petitioners, and also just people that participated in the process, and you struggle to find situations where things went perfectly fine. First of all, the whole idea of lining up is something that people were still trying to understand, especially when you have a clear constitutional provision for the NRM that says secret ballot, and now the lining up is coming up. Then there was the idea of joint campaigns, which honestly was
we did an amendment in the NRM constitution,
yes,
last national conference, and we amended from secret ballot to lining up. It's constitutional. It's in the laws of our
and maybe that hasn't been popularized enough. But when you had the joint campaigns, I think that was the beginning of some of those challenges, because you have people who are bitterly contesting against each other, and I think that's the right word, bitterly, because the level, the lucrativeness of these positions. We discussed this last time I was here on the show, that it's like you've broken a bank when you become the flag bearer. Lydia here has confessed that there are some places where once you're the flag bearer, then you're as good as having won the election. I do not know if that is because of the support that is there per se, or because the machinery will just override everything else and ensure that either way. But the level of confidence that comes from that tells you that people have to fight tooth and nail to get there, and tooth and nail politics is not good. Not in the party, not for the country. Some of that is also buttressed by how Mr. Museveni at the very top works around ring fencing that position. And if the person who snaps a finger and becomes president has to work very hard, or people around him have to work very hard to protect that position, how much harder do others have to work? Do the ministers, we've seen the videos of ministers and their bodyguards, and they're firing live bullets at now if you have won an election.
I was going to say, don't talk about the Prime Minister.
No, I'm not going to mention what the...
I was going to say, don't talk about...
I'm not going to talk about the Prime Minister and what did not happen to her.
Yeah.
But the level of bribery that... there are videos of people lining up, receiving money, and you go to the line, and they're writing names. They're writing, you register your name, you receive money, you go. Now, if with videos, now if we have that much evidence, obviously the constitution has that, the guidelines have that question about substantiality of the substantial effect of the malpractice, whether it affects the final product in a substantial manner, and I guess that's where the lawyers are going to have to sit down and make that decision. I don't want to appreciate the fact that there's a real attempt at having a credible process of reviewing. It feels like it's a futile one, because people are going to have to either go as independents at the end of the day. Some are using this opportunity to legitimize their independence decision. Right. That I actually came and petitioned, and my grievances were not addressed, and so I'm now going as an independent. But I think it still
Although
goes.
The Constitution says if you go as an independent, you're thrown out of the party.
And there are people who will be happy to be thrown out of the party. The only challenge is, when if they win and they're in parliament, then that party that has thrown them out will be very eager to draw them closer. It becomes now a question of politics, but which is disingenuous in a way, because why would you not want someone in? You don't support them to get to that point, and when they are there, you become their close friend.
Yeah.
I really wish. I really wish. Semuju talked about the taxonomy of needs, and sometimes that comes into question. Air quality and integrity are very low on the but I do wish John Musime and his team. I know John. We went to law school together. He's a standout character. I think he will do his best within the circumstances he's in.
I like what you said.
And the time they have between July 29th and I think September 1st to dispose of over 380 cases.
Wow,
that's quite a task.
And
then the healing process begins after that, because
that's what I wanted to put in Semuju. All this division, Malcolm talks about the bribery, but then the divisions that have come up in the party. This is a good time to welcome Navi. Yes, you're most welcome back. Marianne Kasule Namfuka, welcome back to Gang.
Thank you, Oscar. Good morning to our listeners.
Yes, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And has motherhood made you kinder? You kinder, generous?
Made me kinder. I was already kind.
With a sweet.
I was already kind.
With a sweeter tongue.
Yes.
People appreciate you. These are the benefits of motherhood.
You will see, Oscar. You will see.
Right.
People saying they miss Nafi, so I think they're happy to hear that. They've been asking about you. So it's good that you are back.
So even Semuju was worried that government was after me and had, imprisoned me somewhere, and he was willing to come and rescue me.
Rescue you.
This is what I love about Semuju.
Yeah. So, Honorable Semuju, back to you. There's great division. We've seen the division in the opposition parties, and they completely split. They never come back together. But the vitriol, so to speak, that has come from these elections, will there be unity in the NRM party?
Was it there?
Was it there?
It was there.
Where?
You see, people in NRM, majority,
the unifying factor
is the state, because people who seek to be candidates in NRM, majority are people who are seeking to benefit and be part of the state. They are not part of the party. In the last elections, members of parliament who lost the elections went to Entebbe to meet Museveni. In the meeting, the first thing he said, those of you who want jobs, put up your hands. And they did. Then he said, those of you, what do you want? I'm going to contest you. He said, okay, you will see what will happen to you. Then one by one, he took them to a room and gave them money, and they left. After cheating elections, he started deploying. I chaired the committee on Kosase 2014-2016. One of the biggest problems we had with the boards of parastatals is that majority of board members were people who had lost NRM elections. One by one lined up and asked to be part of the boards. And one case of one of the boards, which was very interesting, one of those such people who joined the board had no idea of what a board does. So on Monday, he dresses up, he shows up, he says, where is my office? The MD,
as a board member.
Yes, the MD told him, you see to once in 3 months, they give you a retainer. He said, no, the president gave me a job to run this organization, give me my office. Then they had to call in a minister and so on and so forth. So there are people who are in NRM, not because they believe in NRM, and I see that every day at Parliament. That they will come to you to tell you we are in a meeting, this guy is this. I saw Major General Kayanja complaining, and you can pick his words to justify what I am saying. Where do they get all this money? These drones, he was calling it drone. 50 of them they deployed in Rakai. Do they want us to go and fight over their money? So even Kayanja, who because of history is part of them, is also complaining against them. So if Kayanja is not one of them, who else is? Because he was in Ruero, he came here, he was a deputy of Muntu during the first setup of the NRA structures as a deputy for Directorate of Military Intelligence. So Oscar, the question you've asked, the divisions are there. I know, for example, in Kakumiro, where Nabanja comes from, I know of an MP in Parliament who has been under a lot of pressure. He doesn't breathe because of Nabanja. And I saw him the day his choice of an NRM chairperson, I think for the district, went through, and the way they were jubilating, and Nabanja was there sulking. So in every district you have these divisions, because these people, no wonder each and every meeting that Museveni attends of those NRM meetings, he has a lecture on ideology. Lecturing even people who have been in NRM for 20 years. His lecture standard is ideology. He is the only one who knows the ideology and who thinks he's serving that ideology. The rest of the NRMs are ordinary people, ordinary souls, who in a normal setup will never have access to Parliament or any other government job. But because you are in an abnormal situation, the first qualification for you to access a government job or an opportunity is to proclaim you are NRM. And the most direct route is to participate in the election. Then you've earned yourself a right to bargain. So Oscar, these divisions are there. At the parliamentary level, you have ministers who can't greet each other. They come from one area. But sometimes it's because of competition that Museveni most likely will choose a minister from Wakiso. So I have to elbow my neighbor such that I am the only one remaining standing. But because they are all serving one master, who can is the only one who guarantees these opportunities, either remove them or will offer them, he will call them one by one, and you will hear them blame each other and praising that one master. The president has intervened, the chairman of the party has intervened, it is Tango Doi. Because I saw, and Museveni is very pretentious, Tango Doi can't deploy the military that you saw. I saw military people roughing up Ndunguse, who was a deputy to Kayihura. I don't know where he's contesting from. Kanungu, a deputy IGP being roughed up like a chicken thief. And I celebrated, I said, thank God, I didn't know I would live to see this.
Right? I thought he was fighting. He's the one who started fighting.
Yeah, but you know where it ended. Whether he started or not, in the past he would just be ordering that Semuju should be thrown behind a pickup and they will throw you. Now I saw him also facing the very force he participated in the building. I saw Kayanja crying, who was heading Wembley here, shooting without notice, also crying and saying, these bullets in my leg. I said, okay, that's what you have done to others. God will serve you the same meal. I saw Nabanja. I am told she was the one who was saturating the video as one way of explaining herself. So that video that you saw is not a video from a journalist. It was a video from Nabanja, because she had participated in slapping people and she feared that they would saturate that ahead of her. So she saturated one where it is as if they are beating her, because the intention was to cover up the other. And many others. I was with Honorable Salam Zuma, and he told me what should bother us, the rest of the country, is that if these fellows can serve themselves with this sort of election, what about the election that they are going to serve the rest of the country? Oscar, in the youth elections, and I have seen Museveni, as I said, pretentious as he is, celebrating that we won youth elections. I've told you, in my constituency, they were not there. The village where I stay, they came in the morning. NRM people were the ones who were appointed by Electoral Commission. They brought people, and because they thought they had brought more people, they say now, okay, it is everybody should participate, because these elections of youth, you are supposed to be aged between 18 and 30. So they didn't realize that by opening that everybody should vote, the whole village will come quickly, because this is a town. So they started lining up. My boy of PFF got 480 votes. The one of NRM with the people who had failed got 300. Now they brought 2 police patrols, started firing in the air, took away the woman who is NRM registrar in my village, but was also the one conducting youth elections, put her in a patrol and drove away. The rest of the position, because they are 9, they filled them at a police station. I saw Namiaro, who is I don't know which position now. In recently I saw Museveni appointing a senior presidential advisor, but she runs Museveni's office as a chairman of NRM in Chambo. I saw in NRM primary shouting that they were signing NRM, filling and signing NRM elections declaration forms at police stations. So this whole mess, Oscar, NRM may seek to correct, because the stage we are in now, Museveni wants everybody, and it will go on. So he wants the votes of Lydia, who won by landslide, but even the fewer votes of Lydia's opponents, Museveni wants them. So whether there is a complaint or not, he will meet all of them.
Yeah.
In the case of Lydia, she may not have the same problems that others will have, like a hotly contested one, like a Sechikubo. In the previous elections, he would appear at Terare with both of them, and then he says, all these are my children. One case, I was still an observer in Zimbabwe. Museveni was not even able, because in all areas where he went, he would ask for his vote, and then he would raise the hand of an NRM aspirant. He says, this is our candidate. In Zimbabwe, he didn't. And Kutesa was standing next to him. He says, you announced the NRM candidate. I have those pictures. We took them when we were in observer. Kutesa backing at Museveni. I mean, only Kutesa can do that. But Museveni didn't. He said, you announced the NRM candidate. The man just walked to his car, because he had now presented it to the electorate. He went to Niwagaba Wilfred, who is my friend, somewhere in Kabale. Niwagaba did not participate in NRM primaries at all, because he knew, but he had a following. So he appears at Terare, even with one who is independent, but had not participated in NRM elections. He came with both. And he said, Niwagaba, you come and speak. So you are dealing with I'm trying to find the right word.
He's their father. So
father of what? Father of violence and confusion and buffet.
Dale, have you been following the politics?
Well, yeah, not to the level, the detail that I guess the other panelists here have, but
they're like combatants here.
Right. Yeah, but obviously I come from Lao region, and my views about politics have been very much shaped with the experiences in my earlier years. I think, as you're all aware, obviously, for close to 20 years I was a conflict area, and I think I was fortunate to kind of see the stark contrast between that part of the country and obviously the other side here. So I think I see that it should be a force for society transformation, and I do think many of us with some level of privilege should be more involved in the day-to-day and the local issues.
Yeah, but even Lango is going to hit up the two ladies who are competing for one seat. That's very hot.
That's not the battle.
That's not the battle.
The battle in Lango is that Akenau has been working with Museveni for many years. He has now rebelled, even declining to go and meet. So Museveni has staged a process to remove him. So the chaos in Lango has nothing to do with those. That is peripheral. The real battle is with Akena, who they are now internally complaining that this guy was very intelligent. So he came and accessed the state, after building himself, now he has turned against us. So you'll hear the Chiboko against Akina.
We had him here recently, but yes, still.
Yeah, I guess that's interesting information there.
Yeah,
but I think on the NRM primaries, I'm just intrigued about the logistics of lining up. So it puzzles me how that works out. So maybe I would want.
You're looking forward.
Want to be educated how that actually works, because of I would think it's very complex.
Yeah.
And also fairly not practical. But again, they've done it, and maybe wish them well.
Namfi,
yes, Oscar.
What is the cost of becoming an NRM flag bearer, and then on to becoming an
Lydia here is going to tell us. You see, Oscar, I think at this point,
are you hearing what someone is saying? Even before money, you need police and military first.
That needs money. Because trust me, none of those is standing up without money. But you see, Oscar,
Nyamatama had 50 drones. Those ones you can't buy them.
and he added that her only contribution in Parliament up to now was the Zake saga.
Yes.
he had a big rant against
he did. He gave a whole interview to air his grievances. And Oscar, looking at all these people,
it didn't seem like
I
an
keep
interview.
wondering whether they go back. He doesn't seem what?
It wasn't an interview. It was just straightforward rant.
No. Afterwards, he did give an interview with one of these online blogs and explaining himself. I guess he realized he had gotten far. But you see, Oscar, when I look at people like Kayanja,
Namfi, you also realize that someone has gone too far.
Yeah, you see, in NRM, you can pay a price you are not prepared for. You're Kayanja, you're not Mohanji or Ramirama. So you have to be careful when you're one Kayanja from Rakai. It's not enough for you to having served in the bush, and he's seen what has happened to other Kayanjas.
I guess you have an answer. We have been missing Namfi.
So, Oscar, you see, I look at people like
you, motherhood was making you kinder.
No, I am mellow. Please listen carefully. Kinyamatama.
Yes.
Okay. So, Oscar, when I look at people like Brigadier Kayanja, I ranting and Major General, ranting and aggrieved and throwing tantrums, complaining against the very monster that they built. There is a sudden fraud that I feel. Like, you saw this coming, you dumped down a whole nation. Look at everyone who is standing for election. None of them is even fit to be a head boy of P7. And yet they come offering nothing. Have you had
Lydia
anybody except Lydia? When you look at these people standing, I was watching on different media forums because I have time now on my hands. I'm still on maternity leave, so I still have time. Yes,
doesn't end.
It's 2 years. Scientifically, it's after 2 years.
Please go on.
That is 36 years. No, Oscar, I have time, so I've been following these elections, and I'm yet to see any of these people even articulate what they have to offer their communities.
At this moment in time, maybe that's not the important thing.
No, it is actually important. Therein lies the crux of elections and democracy. You looking the why we do all this, that whole exercise. Look at you, Oscar, with all your education, you think that's not even relevant.
No, we talked about air quality at the beginning of the show, and someone was saying, come on.
You see, but you see, the quality, but even the fact...
Namfuka went to a police station.
Yeah.
What was she demanding?
Fingerprints and what?
Yeah, I wanted them to... I wanted their forensic experts to come and take the fingerprints of the scene. And the OC looked at me like I was missing something. Nayogero Oluzungu Lungi, OC didn't understand where I was coming from. But I said the forensic... your forensics team should come over and look at the scene before anyone else, before it's even tampered with. But I guess I had watched too many movies. Oscar, back to these guys. The whole NRM mess unfolding is very typical. And as you have seen, the whole nation isn't even surprised that this is where we are at, because it's been building over 40 years to this place where people now look at elective politics as an opportunity to eat. I'll tell you this, Oscar. 500 MPs plus in Parliament. If you removed their MPship, they have no jobs. None of them has even any other source of income apart from being an MP and stealing from government. IGG is watching. People spend all this money. Someone has been in parliament 5 years and they're spending 1.5 billion. IGG should swoop in and call them in and demand, where did you get from this money? People are confessing to corruption. And she's seated at her desk, she turns up at work and is not even giving in other sensible countries, but we are not one. There would be all these videos would be put together. IGG would summon all these people and they would answer to why. Because
Perhaps
we even see young
time.
kids are lining up. And like Malcolm said, we see money. And the third parties, people are being bought by 2,000 shillings. 2,000 shillings Oscar is given to a person and they go and sell their vote. And when you look at the person who is taking the 2,000 shillings, they're so impoverished, but unfortunately they can't connect their poverty to their poor leadership. I saw someone like Katuntu going back after 25 years to very impoverished people to ask for their mandate again. And I sent a message on the group asking, what are you even telling them that they are buying at this point? What are you promising them? But we are at the point where people even make statements of non-agenda. And this explains why you see most ministers have lost. Like Olideko, katika tufuno mulalalie, or while you are eating, you are not sharing with us. So now you go away and we put in someone else who will eat and share with us. And therein lies the criteria for choosing a leader in this country. And then you will wonder why, when they get there, they are self-serving, they are doing nothing to serve the people, they are not making any changes to people's lives, but they are coming back after 5 years, having appeared in their constituencies 3 times to ask for people's mandate to vote for them again. And people, so we've lost the plot completely. We are off the track. We are off. You know, when a train goes off the track and finds itself, I don't even know anyone. And when you hear NRM MPs complaining, I won't mention names because they said this in private about the astronomical sums that they have to spend to even get in power. I keep telling them, it's like you are in a bus, but you are responsible for selling brakes, and then you sell faulty brakes to the bus driver because you're making money and injaulo off those faulty brakes, and then you climb onto the bus. How foolish are you to think anything is going to be different? So when you see the messy system that there is, and then the very same people will come here. Ofonopono came here and again defended the election system in this country. Now he's on the other side, he's feeding it, and if he hadn't defended it, maybe by now we would have an improved situation where he can come in and sell to his constituents his mandate on the proper criteria of what democracy is. But now, because we have a sham democracy going, he's a victim, and he's warrior to me, warrior to all of us who don't have as much money. No. You built the system brick by brick, so suffer the consequences, and maybe another time you will learn. But unfortunately, like you started with, the quality of NRM people are not the kind who learn anyway. So 5 years down the road, we'll be back to this. Hopefully by then, the president will be dead, and then we can move on. Because before he dies, I don't think the country can even move on to anything else.
Here, Lugeda Michael said, and Namfi starts from where she left.
But she's kinda.
But this is the most serious analysis I have listened to since this thing started, Oscar. Frankly,
I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Let me go back to the lawyer Malcolm, because we will not let Namfi have last word on this one. So, if we are thinking of sending you, Malcolm, to Parliament in the next 5 years, how much money do we need to amass to get you there?
Plus police and military.
You've heard that there is police and military required.
And Nafi said, even not on money. So if we start now, how much do we need to amass?
We have a minister who has lost NRM primaries. At one church function, he donated 300 million.
300 million?
Yeah. At one function. I have my MP.
Which minister is this one?
I am not going to say the name.
No, please say.
No, I will not.
It's not public information?
but a church
Because
is
you
public.
donated in
So
the church.
why aren't you sharing?
I have an MP from Kampala municipality who we joined parliament as FDC. So he told him one time they went to another function. He had carried 1 million. He said that first the minister who donated the 300. In that church he donated 80. Another one donated 50. He said I had to borrow now from the people in the church at least to make it 5. He had one
with his 1 million.
He borrowed from the people inside the church at least to make it 5, so he looks decent. But they have lost both of them, those ministers.
So back to the question.
I think Honorable Sumuji has answered that question
But you
halfway.
know, when he was mentioned, did he also looked shocked? He said 1 million.
What was he thinking?
No, I was just trying to say that so what happened to his 1 million? Because it happens to us. It's not about the opposition. No. You see, Semuju was talking about.
Since you're a candidate, I must caution you, don't confess anything.
No, let me tell you, it's not just about because the opposition MP. Don't qualify that.
Yeah.
I'm from the NRM party. But it is not news because the NRM party also people have been there. I've been serving NRM since I was left school. From Makerere straight to the secretariat. I'm not talking, I'm giving you an example.
You can give half
no, so-called in Dekof. You can attend a function, like he has said. You've gone with your fiver, even at a burial or at a function. You've gone with the gift of 200,000. But then a fellow member of the same system, they bring a 200 million, 550 million. So it's not about opposition.
Yeah.
Then they begin calling us selfish because look at, for me, there was a campaign of Muzei 1996 when I just joined, where they carried the Rubengo. That Rubengo campaign, said, this one has been with the system since the Rubengo campaign. And Shazia brought for us 500,000. But that's what I have.
Yeah.
So it's not about it's not about somebody from opposition and another from government.
Yeah.
Even us in government, we have gone through a lot. We cannot explain why we do not have too much money.
And the president has commented on this on this issue.
They keep telling that
telling people that he's the one who should be giving out that kind of money because he has a slush fund for that. And he asking RDCs, where do you get yours from? Asking MPs, where do you get yours from? But Oscar, he as the father that we have referred to him as, he has led by example, because he has gone around doing the exact same thing and it seems to have worked for him. So if you will not blame an MP who decides to carry a bag of money when his father is carrying a sack of money. I don't think you should, because that has been the commercialization of our politics. It has been very deliberately done so that it remains exclusive to a certain group of people. The only way you can win an election is if you have money and if you use brute force. Oscar, when you look at the front page of the Saturday Monitor, you see what just a microcosm of what happens in NRM elections. This is the political settlement theory I was talking about, where you have every political question in Uganda historically has been settled by violence. Every political question. So it seems that everybody is looking for ways to do that. If you can't buy the violence to bring it in, then you can pay for it to go away. But either way, violence is the way that the political questions of the day get settled.
But
historically,
Malcolm, you don't have a violence. So how are we going to send you to Parliament?
But that's exactly the problem.
what you need.
That's exactly the problem.
Yeah.
That I don't have the violence, and I won't be able to make it. I remember there was a clip from the Minister of Investment, and she was talking about how she spent 500 million in 3 days.
Yeah.
As part of the campaigning, and she lost on top of that.
And it was kind of conversational.
Yeah, yes. So if you're spending money like that, then you're looking to recover it. And when we start having the stories of Mabati, then we shouldn't be surprised that this is so. Oscar, I think for me to be able to go to Parliament, we must be able to revolutionize the way we view politics first. Until then, I am going to be Muntu Wawansi like the rest of us, and leave those ambitions to Lydia and Semuju.
Semuju, I have young people that I'd like to send to Parliament. These the intelligent people we have here. The other day we had Kato the lawyer, we have Malcolm here the lawyer, Namfuka lawyer, Deo here environmentalist, Mojuni journalist, the geopolitics, Kwezi. So how do we send them to Parliament? Because Malcolm here does not have 300 million.
I have a question of that actually.
Yeah.
Why is it so difficult to legislate campaign financing? Because I know it's I don't know if
I think you should.
Because number one wouldn't be interested in that. You see, the simple answer is
no political will.
Whenever there is a mess, there's someone who benefits from the mess. You may look at the politics in Uganda today as an accident that happened, but trust me, there is an architect to this system.
But you can return the question to him.
Who orchestrated the whole system.
Nafi,
So
you can tell him, you go to Parliament and fix these things.
yeah, but he's not fixing it. No. You see,
I don't
they
have
can
the
only
500
be
million
fixed
to spend in a week.
If Oscar, they can only be fixed if they were a mistake. They are not. They are deliberately like that. The system is deliberately like that. You see, for many years, this has served the president, the current president that we have, divide and rule. In the messiness, he thrives. If the system was clear and leadership was streamlined and there was the best leader would come to the top, there is no best leader who would even who would pass his bills in Parliament. You remember his speech in Jinja during that election, Basari election, where he said, we don't even care. Mwiru, yes. Where he said, we don't even care. As long as you come to, you can sleep, and as soon as you wake up, you vote NRM. We don't care. And he's made statements to that effect over the years. So yes, you may look at it like it's a mess, but in this mess he thrives, and he has deliberately built a system that is messy so that he can thrive, and then it stays in power for longer. Because look at the crop of leaders that this messy system brings to the top.
We have leaders.
Look at the prime minister you have. The quality of leadership, because people who are sensible will never partake in this. You won't see Malcolm here being part of this madness.
But we want him to go to Parliament.
But you want him to go to Parliament.
To stop for a break.
Because those people...
Listen to these people talking about Namfi, says Lugeda Michael, and Namfi has started from where she stopped then, going head-on with gangsters Abdu and Oo, despite their absence. Namfi doesn't disappoint. The Iron Lady Namfi is back to the gang. So listeners, as we stop for a break, we have... Dr. Kirenge is in the studio. Most welcome to Gang.
Thank you.
Yes, and from what Dewa Kuro told us, download AirQo, AIRQO, air quality, because we are going to talk about the air in Kampala after this.
That's the air quality at Kolol Airstrip is much better than the air quality at Acacia Avenue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And it might from the app. Yes, it might be the borders.
Yeah. The Sam in Makinde has measured, says the air quality over there terrible. So, Honorable Semuju, how can you bring this air quality to the campaign? The good thing is our road is being fixed, Nigeria Road, so maybe that will improve. But Professor here said that dust is not as dangerous as the other dust.
As I said, if you ask an ordinary person to list his priorities, that will not be one of them. But after listening to Professor and the engineer,
Crispy in London is saying, are there air cleaners for cars? Crispy Kahir, yes.
You appreciate the importance of the subject that they are addressing.
Your friend, who you must mention all the time on Gang, the president of Uganda, wears a mask all the time. So maybe he knows a thing or two.
I am not sure. Sometimes I said earlier, Museveni is very pretentious. I will not be surprised that he can put on a mask in his bedroom. Museveni can do that.
I thought I'd given you an opportunity to say something nice.
Because
yes, this opportunity to say something nice.
You are dealing with someone who will be taking the direction of Masaka,
okay,
but his destination is Jinja.
So you're saying now you've listened to Professor and
I thought you still wanted me to continue.
Yeah, but I'm changing. I'm changing the direction.
I have listened to them.
Yeah.
As an Namfi, I want to hear more on what the ordinary person can do, either to avoid the problem or to improve the quality itself. Because Uganda, if you look at the last population and housing census report, we have 5.2 million borders in the country. So these borders have become the main mode of transport, almost public transport, not even private, but public transport. And the number can only increase. So what do we do in circumstances like those? But on a policy level, maybe Lydia will answer that one. Where I stay, I neighbor an industrial park. When they were setting it up there, they never visited us. They never told us in how many kilometers we should leave, where the settlement should begin from. In the evening, and especially towards the daybreak, you begin breathing things that are smelling like a fuel. I don't know how dangerous those are and whether you advise us to now relocate, because those factories, some of them, I'm not sure they work at the same pace like they do at night, and there are many. So I am more interested now that I have appreciated the problem. I mean, because of too many problems that we engage with every day. People are turning up at your... I was telling a friend, it is very rare that I will receive someone at home asking me about parliamentary work. Those who turn up in the morning, school fees, health bill, what. Remember, Oscar, the problem we had here when we were discussing COVID. We had, as MPs, given ourselves 20 million, which, by the way, was put properly in the budget. But Museveni and the public found, the elite found the problem with it. And I told you, Oscar, the life we live is different. That time I had more than 300 people knocking at my door every day looking for food. Just food, basic food. One time my phone opponent took me to Nachifuma to buy maize because I couldn't put up with the pressure. Then I had to go to Mandela to buy. So I said, how will these people hear me that they have given me 20 million? I have returned it. And then I tell them, you go away, I don't have food. I said, so these things are real. It's not a theory. That they hear I am here because the Namfi, an elite, has told me, this is very bad. Return the money. For them, they are at my door, and what they need is 2 kilograms of kawunga.
It's still justifying that bad choice.
No, I'm telling you that it's sometimes very hard when you engage with these problems.
So talking about air quality.
Yes, look at the areas where people stay. The other day, Museveni was in Kasokoso. The whole of Bukasa, we neighbor Namambe Industrial Park. So what are the choices? And I want to know, because I now appreciate the dangers. But what are the choices? Because if you're going to preach to someone who stays outside the importance of staying in a house, that's the choice that has been presented to him. So where do I go? Like people who are in Palestine now. So you either die of starvation or they shoot you. So they present you with 2 options, which are no options. So I want to hear from the professor and the engineer, in our ordinary lives, what can we do to minimize the danger?
Yeah, Anthony says the air in Kampala is dirty, which has escalated respiratory diseases and some of issues we face with organ failure, collecting money to go to India for operation, investing in lower hospital, and so on and so forth.
Before he answers,
he's not going to answer,
we wanted to know whether flowers actually, there are some people, some elite people who have tried at least to use some interventions there are all these gadgets on the market. I think the app should go a long way into sensitizing whether any of these works. The flowers, there are certain flowers which have a reputation of cleaning up air in houses. Do they work? Are they any help?
Irritants.
Yeah.
Then Malcolm, Miss Norman Magembe, from your explanations, it seems like Africans are the worst affected by air pollution. But in my opinion, the Bazungu get more cancers and lung diseases than us. Just like it was with COVID, our immune system seems to be stronger. I think Norman Magembe is not factual because the age, what do we call it? The mortality age, I forget the term that is used, in Uganda is far lower than
life expectancy.
Life expectancy, yes, is far lower than what he's attesting.
No, but I think it does have a point, because when you look at the life expectancy, it might be over things that are more avoidable. Here, each time I drive on a highway and I see kids walking, a kid of 3 years walking along a highway back home, and I'm thinking, how safe is this one? When you talk about the infant mortality rate, I'm assuming again that contributes to life expectancy. So there's certain things that might be worse off here that lead us to having a higher life expectancy, lower life expectancy than things like lung disease, which are more serious conditions. That said, when Professor Chirenga was speaking, I was thinking how many of the conditions get diagnosed?
Yeah.
How many actually get reported? People will get lung issues and go for other alternative treatments. People will think, we'll get lung issues and probably get other opportunistic infections that then take them on, and they don't get to know that they actually had the challenge with the lungs. Oscar, when our two guests were speaking about the air quality, I quickly, and they mentioned the borders, I quickly checked some of the areas where borders prevail a little bit more than others, and you will see that generally the CBD, we are at I think 95 in terms of poor quality, and that is very, very bad. Acacia Avenue is at 41, 47. Kololo airstrip area is at 20 something. And I think the app is fantastic because it gives you even different countries. I've seen the Gambia has very good air quality. So Oscar, when you're looking to go on vacation, to breathe better,
go to Gambia.
It might be expensive to get there, but I think that this is actually a very serious issue. I disagree with those that are trivializing it in the face of other issues. I don't think it has to be either one or the other. When you're talking about people's health, if it is malaria, if it is HIV, if it is, then the air quality must be a part of that from what you've explained, because these things get into us and you don't know they are there. Then next thing you know, you have a brain tumor and you don't know what created it. But it could have been these particles that were being, those are some of the things that crossed my mind when you are speaking. And air quality is increasingly becoming a factor in some of the decision making that is happening around the world. We are here touting our tourism. People are going to refuse to come to this country to tour it because the quality of the air is poor. If there is a country that has better air quality, then they take that decision. Conferences, we celebrated NAM. Maybe NAM might not have been very key on air quality, but there are some others that might choose not to because of the air quality. So I think that there are several ways in which these issues can be made more practical and more day to day for us as Ugandans.
Yes.
And we can see how to individually be able to make small changes that can have a bigger impact.
Lydia, talk of air quality. There's a time when Mbale had very good air quality, but Mbale City, I'm not so sure. Chris Pikael says
before the borders
implementing strict emission standards encouraging public transportation and investing in green spaces can transform. And
we've been having a big campaign about afforestation in the country. Even you in the Rotary have been planting trees. I think that has been part of the
green mission.
The green mission and the green campaign to ensure that we restore the fresh air, because the forests help us to restore fresh air but also stabilize the ecosystem. But listening to Honorable Semju about industrial parks and industries, there must be reports about the environmental impact assessment reports before buildings or construction of, especially on issues like even wetlands. So I really hope that the oversight role of the Parliament can do that, so that the environmental impact assessment reports are enforced. We are talking about we have been the last 5 years or so. The country has been talking about the oil and gas industry. That's an area that actually is heavy on industry, but also on issues of environment and air pollution. So I hope that you are up the game now that in Parliament.
You know, when people talked about those air pollution and everything regarding the oil, they were seen as saboteurs. Say let's get the oil.
It's a very serious matter.
Protesters were arrested.
Yes,
it's a very serious matter.
Draw the attention of the country to the problem. They paid them by arresting them.
Yeah,
because now you cannot speak about oil and gas industry without the strength of NEMA and other agencies speaking to those reports of the impact assessment, environmental impact assessment, before any project takes place. It's also a question of planning. So if you are in a wetland, if you are in the settlement, you cannot have an industry that relates with the settlements. There must be planned settlements, even in the factory. So these are some of the questions out there. But fortunately, we have institutions. If they don't work, there must be a question there. If Parliament has an oversight committee role, you do your work, and then we see. Because if factories are found settlement there, then who stays? One of them must stay. I mean, you remember when they were chasing people from wetlands, and someone says, "What are you doing in a home of frogs?" If we can protect wetlands and frogs, what about human beings?
I recently read about it.
We must coexist in an ecosystem so that we not only survive but also thrive.
Lydia, leave that frog alone. It's an international species. I read about it recently.
About
people locate it in Uganda. Yeah.
The environment and the wetlands.
Listeners, we've had a clean show at the end, and people are tweeting and all that. But I think Norman Magembe is the one taking the biscuit, saying, caution our partners against using perfumes. So Deo, as we start the conclusion here,
you want a natural one?
What do you want to close the show with, Deo?
I think I'm happy that we've made progress with Honourable. So I think for me, my appeal, I think, to all of us, and obviously to our colleagues in the media, is that we need to. This should not be a conversation that happens maybe whenever there's a newspaper article, but every other day. With the app, what AirCore is doing in trying to collect data, we actually deploy over 350 monitoring locations across Africa in 16 cities. So that's quite a big undertaking. And I think if, for example, maybe before you start the show, you give us an update on air quality every weekend, that will actually be, would go a long way in trying to educate and empower the people. But I do want to talk about, very briefly, some of the questions, try to respond. So in the 1950s, you might have heard about the London smog, where you lost over 12,000 people within a couple of weeks.
But you know, these days, in like China, in certain cities, they put out an announcement saying, "Do not go out today."
Exactly. So I don't think
close.
I don't think we want to get to that level where it becomes an emergency. In India, it's a Supreme Court issue. It's a political issue in India because it's a big problem. So I don't think we have an opportunity to try to insulate ourselves and move towards that. And I think if you look at some of those historical contexts in other countries, you see what has happened. In the UK, there's a lot of progress made, probably the same as the US as well. One thing that I quite admire in the UK, in this case, they've got what they call the catchment areas within communities. So in those communities, in your local neighborhood, you cannot take your children beyond certain boundaries. Like you're limited. So you don't have to drive from Kira to come to Kampala, parents, but you're limited there. You're constrained. School districts here, so those catchment areas. And I think the point I'm driving here is I think we should aspire to have self-sustaining neighborhoods whereby you don't need to come to the city to get a service, but this should be happening, within but that takes time to build. And I think, what does this mean for the everyday person? So there's lots of messaging you can actually have here. For example, we spoke about cooking earlier. It would be sensitive to ask somebody to stop using charcoal firewood, but what can they do within their means? There are better cooking practices. Maybe open your window so you can have ventilation. So that is really within that empowers them. If you have a smartphone, make sure you're able to, you regularly monitor, what's happening. Is it very polluted? It's maybe I should postpone my activity. So there's small things that could actually be happening incrementally that could have an impact, but that's not enough. There has to be, more interventions at different levels.
Okay.
But I do think the message. But I do want to maybe move the mic to.
Yes, Professor Bruce Kirenga.
People do download the app and measure the air quality, especially those with allergies and endangered.
Professor, you're on microphone now. What would you like to finish with?
Thank you so much,
Oscar.
Actually, when I saw your poster, says what should we do?
Yeah.
So I'd actually prepared in my head to tell people what we should do.
And we have all of 4 minutes to do that.
But the gangsters, when I was at home, they threw us off balance by saying this thing doesn't exist. So we've spent the hour firefighting to convince them it exists. But I would say a couple of few things. One is there are these things we call universal risk factors. Yeah?
Pardon?
Universal risk factors. And air pollution is one of those. So many of these things you see are happening: increased respiratory disease, cardiac disease, cancers. This could be related to some of these universal risk factors, which we need to address. I want to assure the listeners that when we say that this air quality is associated with these diseases, we are actually not speculating. We have done mechanistic studies. I'm currently doing a study in Namuwongo, where I'm
Prof, go to the microphone.
Where I'm looking at the impact of this air pollution on TB. TB is one of the things which has refused to leave Africa.
Yeah.
And when you go there, you see the experiments we are doing. So we are not speculating. When we finally conclude that it is associated, it is associated. Then the other thing which I have to say is we started this work actually in 2014. That's actually how air quality work started in Uganda. And how did it happen? When I was in the US for my fellowship, my supervisor, who had been to Kampala, told me, for your project you are going to do air quality in Kampala. I already had my very good project. So we came and started doing that work. And at that time, why I'm saying this, I'm surprised. It seems I am where I was in 2014, because at that time, the leader of one of the agencies called me and said, Bruce, what is this nonsense you have published? It seems 10 years later, I'm still in the same place. Yes, of course, that shows how much we are not doing as scientists to really sensitize. So the other thing is, what can people do at a personal level? And I think that's the important thing. At a personal level, one, of course, know your air quality using these apps, or believe people who have known it. Secondly, there are what we call personal protection measures. The mask is one of them.
Yeah.
It reduces particle exposures. But of course, the protection depends on the mask. I don't have enough time to explain. Starting from a cloth mask to a 3 double layer that we're using in COVID. So the protection. You can use a mask. One, you can avoid, I already talked about that, especially for sensitive groups. You have heart disease, you have lung disease, you are vulnerable, people above the age of 65, you have all chronic diseases. You can choose to avoid places which are not clean. We will tell you from airco, this air pollution actually fluctuates during the day. You can choose to go to town off peak if you know you are vulnerable. The other one, which we can do at personal level, is try as much as possible not to generate polluting things around you. This is what he's talking about, the biomass. If you know you are vulnerable, try not to cook using firewood, using charcoal if possible. But also there is another habit, burning rubbish.
Yeah.
Gather all the caveras and put them in your compound in the evening. You are taking your tea and start burning. Okay. Meanwhile, you have a child who is asthmatic. Tomorrow, you will be in hospital for an attack. Then at system level, I have to mention, we didn't have enough time. Actually, KCCA has already picked up this. They now have what we call Air Quality Week. It happens in May. Yeah, they have also installed monitors, and the green packs they are putting, all that is the effort. But I don't have enough time to say what we are doing. But they have picked it up, and they are doing something.
Have they measured the quality chitezi?
I think they did. I think they did, because they now have portable monitors. Now, lastly, lastly, the other thing which can be done, and this one I think may be the leaders who are here, Honorable and others, this issue of unpaved small roads in Kampala. If you paved all these roads, you would cut this air pollution by 50%.
Yeah.
Now, engineers could tell us cheaper models of paving these roads. You've been to Addis Ababa. They don't pave like this in the side roads. No, they have a way they put their stones. So we should come up with a cheaper way. And as neighborhoods, you can actually also decide to come as a group and pave your they call them what, those sidewalks in your neighborhood as a community, because these particles are not only a nuisance, they are a danger to your health. So if you are like 10 homes, you could pave. If there was a cheaper way of paving the road. And lastly, the big animal, the vehicle engines. We need to have efficient engines, and we need to monitor them to make sure that the small things which can be done is talking about. If you don't have to use a car, don't use a car. Yeah? There is also another habit. You see, sorry about the borders, I hope I'm not misunderstood. Do you see them on the stage? They are always firing that engine. But they are not going anywhere. But they don't know what they are doing. You know that place where they stay?
Yeah.
You see them firing the engine.
Vroom, vroom,
Yes. And you know, emissions are higher at the start of the engine.
Yeah.
Everyone is firing. Just tell them, please don't fire this thing. Because for me, they come to me. Most of them, young people, already have very damaged lungs, actually, those borders. But they keep firing their thing, but they are not going anywhere. Small things which should be compiled for people to protect their... So, also my group, we are starting a campaign for young people called My Health, My Air, My Health. This is targeting the young people as a change agent. So we have made a social media campaign which will start in September, and we sensitize them such that they grow up when they know the impact of these things. I really want to thank you. Probably this also will increase the awareness of this air quality, but it's very difficult to tell people that this air now is very dirty when they cannot see it.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, but we have to believe in science. Yes, because when we told you COVID is killing you, has anyone ever seen it?
No.
The COVID virus. Because you can't touch it, but you believed us. I think even here you have to believe us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pardon, you're saying even here we need to believe us.
Thank you. I think I will stop there.
So, but you've achieved, because I've not seen Honorable Semuju with a worried face in a long time.
So how do people get that?
It has worked.
How do you market that?
I want to thank Professor Bruce Chirenga. Thank you so much with the advice you've given us on gang. Engineer Dewo Akure, thank you so much. Namfi, good to have you back. On gang, welcome back. Malcolm.
Thank you, Oscar.
Yes. Honorable Semuju, Honorable Anyoto, we wish you all the best in your elections.
I need the support of Malcolm. You have to come to Mbale City and campaign.
A message Busoga informs says, no, that one is not good to read out.
I'm just starting.
Someone, I couldn't find it here. Someone said, it is Greens Kansime. Says, in Ankore sub-region without 1 billion, you cannot dream of contesting for a parliamentary election, for a parliamentary seat. Otherwise, you'll be humiliated. Thank you, Star Cafe, for powering the gang. Deo has a gift he wants to give to the gangsters. Very quickly, can you read out what's on the shirt?
Yes, so the shirt is...
Did you first get our sizes?
You
hope so?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just came from Nairobi, where
now if you listen, you're going to get a gift.
We launched a renewed vision for partnership. We are leading a movement that's Africa-wide, really, Africa Cleaner Network, that provides a platform to unite partners across disciplines, across borders, and across expertise to tackle this problem.
Quick, we're out of time. What's on the shirt?
So the network, so this is just for you to be champions and ambassadors of air quality, not just in Uganda, but in Africa, everywhere, because it's a cross-border issue.
But we'll start in Uganda.
Start in Uganda, yes.
Prof, we must have you back soon. Talk about maybe clots. Do clots go to the lungs? Yeah, so that's what we'll, I feel good, Malcolm, that we've had a clean show. So the next time we have a clean show, we'll go to clothes.
Professor has been nominated to be Minister for Innovation.
Someone has said that. I didn't want to say it. Thank you so much. I am Oscar Semoyamsuke, and I shall see you next